Hi, my name is Michelle, and I have my doctorate in physical therapy, and I'm a personal trainer, a yoga teacher, and a health coach. So, today this is going to be about a 10-minute yoga program for men. So, commonly with men, we're pushing the crunches so we can get that six pack, but I want you to learn how to activate your deep core muscles and use your core as a whole. So, our core is our abs, it's that six pack. It's all this also this lower abdominal muscle, and it's our back and how those work together. So you don't want to be the guy that went to go pick up a Kleenex on the floor and blew out their back because their muscles aren't stretched, their deep core muscles aren't strong. So I'm going to lead you through this practice. So feel free to join me for this and feel free to keep up this practice. So you really have to stick with it and be consistent to build that strength and to build that flexibility you need to move correctly. All right, so the first thing I'm going to start with is something very basic, but it is what you need for every core exercise to bring your core together as a whole. So go ahead and come on down to your back with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. So this is the most basic time. So if you ever hear me or someone say engage your core, this is what it means. So I want you to push that low back into the mat and hold. So nothing should be moved. Go ahead and tap the back of your legs and your glutes, and you shouldn't be using them. This needs to come just from your abs. And go ahead and release. And try that again. Push that low back into the mat. You'll notice not much moves. And just hold. So when you're doing planks, when you're doing sit-ups or anything, you have to be doing this. So this is what zips our abs together and makes our core strong as a whole. From here, bring your knees up to 90 degrees. We're going to bump it up and move into something harder. Hands are flat on the ground, but try not to grip the ground. And go ahead and straighten those legs and bring it back into 90. Good, and go ahead and continue with that. So depending how it feels, and if you can keep your low back pressed, you can go closer towards the ground. Or if you notice that low back popping up, shoot your legs closer towards the ceiling. So you want to keep good form. So this isn't something where you push hard and you have to be big and macho. So stick right to your level, right to where you can keep that low back on the ground and that core engaged. Good, we'll do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, go ahead. You can grab behind your legs and you can rock and roll to get up, or you can roll to your side. Make your way to your stomach. So we're going to work our back because we want our ab muscles and our back muscles to work together, especially when we go to pick something up. So we're going to do Superman here. Arms are by your ears, palms face each other, and you're going to be looking down at your mat. Go ahead and lift everything up, arms, legs, chest, and then come down. Good, we're going to do 8 more. 8. So we're engaging the whole back side of our body. 6. 5. So if you're just focusing on your abs, you're missing out on engaging your back when you go to lift things and pick things up. So you really want to prevent injury here. And go ahead and do the last one. Good. Now we're going to do swimming. So we're going to lift everything up again, arms, legs, and go ahead and flutter those arms and legs like you're swimming. So you want to look down at your mat. Keep your belly button tucked in a little bit. So you don't have to arch a lot through that low back because we're really just working our strength here. Good. 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms by your side, and we're going to take a child's pose and stretch out those muscles. So you can have your knees apart a little bit as you come into the child's pose if that's more comfortable. And go ahead and walk those hands towards the top of your mat. You can have your forehead on the ground. If it doesn't touch, that's okay. Also, if it feels uncomfortable, you can have a pillow between your legs or a blanket here if you need that lift. So go ahead, take a nice deep breath. Especially as guys to have a little bit tighter muscles. So you definitely want to take the time to stretch it out so that your body can still move and move a little freer without pain. Good. One more breath here. Good. And next we'll come into plank. So guys tend to have really good upper body strength. So you can choose your option to be on your toes or your knees here. So I'll show you on your knees first, you want to create that incline. So we don't want that booty up in the air. We want that incline. In either position, you want your wrist right under your shoulder. Some people tend to put them out a little bit in front. So go ahead and come into your plank, and you can be on your knees or your toes. If you're on your toes, push a little weight into your heels so you're getting that calf stretch. So think back to that first exercise where we laid on our back and we did that pelvic tilt, engaging your core. So you should be doing that exercise right here, bringing that belly button up. So we're engaging that lower core and not just using our arm muscles and the top of our ab muscles. Good. Go ahead, take a rest. You can come into child's pose. Take one breath. You can walk those fingertips towards the top of the mat. Get a nice stretch in those shoulders. Good. Go ahead and come back to plank this time, and we're going to bump it up a notch. So when you're here in plank, push that weight into your heels first, and we're going to bring knee to chest and then alternate. So go ahead and follow along here. So when you're doing this, I want you to get your leg as far away from the ground. So here it's close. I want it up towards that chest. So the closer you can bring that knee to your chest, the more you're going to work your core muscles. So if you're on your knees, it may come more towards your forearm and out to the side a little bit. Good. So just sticking with your level. So that means you have to keep good form to stay at that level or not take a rest. Good. We're going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. This time come into that tabletop position, hands and knees. Walk your hands towards the top of the mat. So this is puppy pose. And this is going to give a nice stretch through the shoulders and through the low back and the hips. So your forehead or chest may come down to the mat. It may not. Just take a nice deep breath here, using the exhale to relax into that stretch. Good. And go ahead and walk those hands up. And we're going to end with one more stretch here. So I want you to come to a seated position, and you're going to have a one leg straight, one knee bent, almost like it's in a butterfly. And you're going to face that leg that is straight. So go ahead and just sit up really tall. So if you're feeling this, you can stay right here. If you can't even sit up tall, go ahead and bend that knee a little bit because you might have a tight hamstring. So if you want, you can start to hinge forward. So that means keeping your back straight as you come forward. So just notice where you're feeling that stretch. So we're stretching out the back of our legs right now. So when we go to lift things, if our hamstrings are tight, we're going to be using other muscles and compensating. That can lead us towards injury. Good. So take one more breath here. Just try to relax those muscles on the exhale so you're not fighting the stretch. And go ahead and walk those hands back up and switch your legs. Good. So facing that leg, first just work on sitting up tall. So here your core is engaged. You're squeezing this leg. You're engaging your muscles. Remember, if it's too much, add that slight bend. So you might just have tight hamstrings, and that is okay. So nice and tall. And then when you're ready, hinge forward at the hips. Good. You can walk those hands down. They don't need to touch your feet. I typically like having my hands just along the side of my legs. Good. So use that exhale to just relax those muscles, making sure you're not fighting the stretch. So at the end of a workout is a really great time to stretch because your muscles are warm, so they'll have a little bit more flexibility in them and a little bit more room to move. Good. And go ahead and walk your hands up. So that is all for today. So I hope you enjoyed this really quick video on how to work your core. So not just your abs, your lower abs, your back, and to add some mobility to your movements. So check out the description below of how to work with me, and I look forward to showing you more videos.